who have asked me about tariffs, both as an academic, so I teach at Oregon State University, go Beavers, and also just as a car guy. And even though we have all of our bad ideas, that people ask me for what are good ideas when it comes to buying cars. And tariff this, tariff that, yes, they're tariffable. Hopefully you like and subscribe because of that joke on its own. But I'm on my way back from the gym, and before I get started for the day, and I lecture for 4 hours today on operations, I wanted to kind of dispel a little bit of car buying rush that I see that a lot of videos are coming out, and then also a lot of people are like, should I go buy, should I buy, should I buy, should I buy, etc. I would like us to just be very, very mindful about one of the things that I see when people are buying cars at any time is when they are rushed. I think that people make decisions that end up costing them thousands of dollars, and you might not feel it in the moment, be like, well, you know, how much is this going to actually make to my my actual monthly payment, etc. But if you are like in the final stages of buying a car, meaning that you have your financing set up, you've actually done a budget, you've looked at a really good car buying strategy, like only having a certain percentage of your gross pay, which hopefully that's less than 20% of your gross pay per month, looking at your monthly payment. There's a couple different strategies there, but regardless of that, if you've already done that, and if you already have a specific car that you have identified, you've been working with a specific dealership, then yeah, I mean, in that case, if you're days away from making that decision, then yeah, you can go ahead and make that decision. But I hear a lot of people about like, well, I wanted to go get a car at some point, maybe within the next 6 months. Mine's kind of breaking down, da, 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 da. I would recommend, please be patient. I know that there is a lot of uncertainty, and this video could be completely wrong in the future, and things could go utterly off the rails. However, I do see that people just go and want to buy cars, and they make those decisions, whether it's new or used, because they're like, I just want to get it off my mind and I just want to get it done. I would recommend to please be patient. A lot of the tariffs are going to be impacting, obviously, new cars because of the both final assembly point and then parts that are imported into the United States. Some of those prices could swing 5%, some of them could swing 25%. Ford has already identified that they're going to like offer employee pricing, so there's a couple of single-digit percentage there in terms of like helping things. That's kind of like a temporary thing. What is this going to look like in the long run? We really don't know. It also could be that this is something that gets into place as we saw, and then there's a lot of people that were worried about it, and then people were making car buying decisions, and then suddenly on most countries besides China, well, suddenly there's a pause on the rest of the reciprocity fees. So if you went ahead and bought a car, and then I don't know, dealerships are probably going to be like, hey, you know what you need to do, just in case prices could go up, then that is that's the strategy that they could use to get you to buy that car today. So I just really strongly recommend to take a pause. So I'm getting, I get a comment down here. Name a car for the edit. I don't know what that means, my friend, but I appreciate the comment. Now, when it comes to looking at cars and where to buy them, a lot of people like to look at cars like Toyota. Toyota's been looked at, and I've actually seen a couple of videos. Like if you wanted to go buy a new Toyota, we have up here in the Pacific Northwest, specifically here in Oregon, we call it the Toyota tax, where there were times, especially coming out of the pandemic, that there were some used Toyotas that were selling for just about as much as a new Toyota, and part of that had to do with availability. Again, if people wanted the car right now, you're paying the same amount of money for a car that potentially has 40,000 miles on it. Actually, my buddy Colton, he sold his Tacoma, 6-speed manual Tacoma, really nice truck. I think he ended up selling it for just about a net neutral after putting 40,000 miles on it and like a nice set of wheels and tires. So that was just an example of that during the pandemic. So again, don't be in a rush to go and buy a car. That's my recommendation. Take it for what it's worth. We are called the Bad Ideas Garage, but doing your research, making sure that you're test driving cars. Will this have an impact also on used cars? Most likely. It's because if people want to buy cars a couple months from now and those prices go up, well, I think that used car prices will go up as well. That's something to keep in mind. However, there's something that is very, very beautiful about when you have done all of your research and you have gone and found the car that you want, and then it ends up becoming a good car. So this car that I'm sitting in right now, this is a 2021. And I did a lot of research for several weeks to figure out what this is. and I ended up getting it for, and it's a used EV, and so I got the used EV tax credit. And then I was talking with my buddy Robbie, and we were out at dinner one night, and he's like, well, did you think about these parameters with the used EV tax credit? All of that stuff is because I took weeks and weeks of research to buy this exact car. I also didn't buy it in Oregon. This car was from the Lithia dealership in Idaho Falls. Shout out to my buddy Tanner. Never met the guy in person, but he made the process really, really easy. Lithia is a Oregon-based car company, but they have a national brand, and I was able to go there and make sure that I get the used EV tax credit. And then Colton, my buddy Colton, drove this back. He did a road trip on the way back. So there's a lot of ways that is a good example, not just because I'm tooting my own horn, but I mean, it literally took weeks and weeks and weeks. I originally was looking at something like the Toyota BZ4X, which is horrendously boring, I know, but those were alarmingly cheap. And the Ford Mustang Mach-E was not on my radar until I started to do a little bit of research on them. And then I realized that there were a bunch of available. And then at this particular dealership in eastern Idaho, they had one that they had just recently discounted. And that one actually, sorry, Tanner, if you're watching this, but that one was actually mislabeled because I noticed what it was labeled on the website versus what was on the original window sticker. It's things like that if you're in a rush, especially if you're like, I got to go to a dealership right now, I think that people are going to be missing out on that. If you are buying a used car, make sure that you are, of course, going through and getting it inspected. There is something really great about having a different perspective, even if you are a car guy, having the car inspected or car gal, making sure that it's up on a lift. And then if you have a reputable mechanic, they're going to tear that car apart because they obviously want the business. Be like, yeah, well, it needs this, 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 and this. So it's $200 for a pre-purchase inspection. But here's all of these different things that we found. Please come back and we'd be glad to take care of those for a good deal, etc. So I'd be very patient. Anytime that there are things that are rushed into, especially cars can cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. Ask yourself, is your car repairable that you have now? Do you actually need a car? Do you need another car? Ask that of myself all the time. Okay, so I have some comments here. Say hi, you're friendly duck, hello. My brother got a 98 Astro Gladiator van with 18,000 miles on it. That is awesome. Those are really, really cool vans. I've seen those. Put a Corvette engine at S10. I would absolutely love to do that if I had the space. I'm working on the Subaru Justy that we put on top of a Mazda Miata. I started working on that literally I bought the car in May of last year. And so it's been a much longer project than we have anticipated, but Jamie is building some custom motor mounts for it. So he seems to think, at least from the fabrication side of things, that car is going to be ready to go. That also means that I had all of the rotary stuff. So I have a 2004 RX-8 that's missing like the rear subframe. That's gone, or that we're going to get rid of, and we have an extra 13B rotary. All of that is available. And I've actually had, and I'm not sure if this is completely happenstance. I'm not quite sure if the reason why people seem really interested in it is maybe they don't understand that RX-8 is it's just for parts. It's not coming back, people are repairing their old cars because they know that they want to keep it on the road for longer. So the people that have contacted me though are like, if somebody wants to do a rotary swap in their 99 Miata, I'm like, well, here's the complete package that you need for $1,000. And they're like, okay, that seems about right. They just aren't really sure if they want to have a complete parts car rather than just the parts that they want. So Ibrahim Brooks, thanks for tuning in. So I actually am supposed to be an adult, so I'm gonna get going here. But I just wanted to say, for those who are watching this now or watch later time, please, 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 please be very, very patient in terms of rushing. Try not to rush into buying a new car. I know that there's a lot of pressure and you're like, oh my gosh, this is it. Again, if you have done your research and this is not an emotionally based decision, a logically based decision, you've identified the model and like you're in the final negotiating stages between like 2 different dealerships at least. You should be researching multiple places, even if you don't live next to a certain dealership. Have multiple dealerships. You're at that point. Sure, go ahead and pull the trigger on buying that car. However, if you're just like, I need a new car, I don't really know where to start, or I haven't really started, or I'm in the early stages, take your time. Really, take your time. I think that there's all this rush and the sensation, or there's like a lot of like internal, like, I have to make this done, I have to do this now. Don't let that anxiety cause you to buy something it's going to cost thousands of dollars in the future. So hope you love this video. Like and subscribe for some good ideas on the Bad Ideas Garage, and we'll catch you later. If I can figure out how this, boop, there we go.